morning, everybody. It's your girl, Brittany Charity, and welcome back to Saturday Morning Storytime. Hello again, everybody. It's good to see you here this Saturday. I'm glad we made it to another weekend. Because, you know, some people in this world did not. Specifically in this country, specifically in Tennessee, specifically because of gun violence. And that's what we're going to talk about today. While digesting Reader's Digest in the back of a dirty bookstore, a plastic flag with gum on the back fell out and on the floor. Well, I picked it up, ran outside, slapped it on my window shield, and if I could see old Betsy Ross, well, tell her how good I feel. But your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore. They're already overcrowded from all your dirty little war. Nah, Jesus don't like killing no matter what the reasons for. And your flag decal, it won't get you into heaven anymore. Well, I went to the bank this morning, and the cashier, they said to me, if you join the Christmas club, I'll give you 10 of them flags for free. Well, I didn't mess around one bit, nah, I took him up on what he said. And I stuck them stickers all over my car and one on my wife's forehead. But your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore, 'cause they're already overcrowded from all of your dirty, dirty little war. I know Jesus don't like killing no matter what the reasons for. And your flag decal, it won't get you into heaven anymore. Yeah, that's a little good song right there. Now that's Flag Decal by Prine. And I really wanted to read about gun violence today and talk about it a little bit because it's been on my heart, and I think story times should be relevant to the climate and the temperature of culture and what's going on. So, you know, I just wanted to say one thing really, and it's that gun safety measures are a seatbelt. And just like any household and any place where kids are being cared for, elderly people are getting cared for, hospitals, I mean, safety measures, protocols, and rules are in place so that we can prevent senseless death and harm and injury. The safety measures that people want to put in place are basic. They don't threaten our Second Amendment. They are just a seatbelt to prevent, to filter the stuff that could be filtered. You know, it's the most basic filter. And whenever something happens, adults and people in charge, they act and they do something to prevent it next time. We quote unquote learn from our mistakes. So with that being said, today's read is actually something that I found online as I was researching and looking into gun violence in America. I want you readers and listeners to remember that this was written more than 3 years ago. More than 3 years ago. So what you're about to listen to has gone up since then. It's called A Letter to My Students About School Shootings. Some of us might not make it out alive. I really like it because it's real. It's just real. Let's jump right in. Editor's note. Stephen Lane is beginning his 18th year teaching freshman social studies at a Boston area high school. As students across the U.S. return from summer vacation, he is reflecting on his own frustration at our nation's apparent inability to collectively address the epidemic of gun violence. The opinions expressed below are his own personal views and do not reflect the views or policies of his school district. Heard. Dear students, welcome to freshman year. High school may seem big and scary to you now. I hope you will feel at home here before long. May it be a year of many challenges and much success. Shortly, we will attend an assembly with the school police officer to go over the Alice Protocol. A few days after that, the school will conduct its annual Alice drill. Alice stands for Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, and Evacuate. We call it the Alice drill because that sounds nicer than the try to not get shot drill. We will debrief afterward. Some of you will make jokes, and some of you may be upset, while some of you will have questions about the plan, like, what if there is a second shooter outside? What if the shooter dresses up like a policeman? The stairways are already jammed during passing periods. Won't we be sitting ducks if we try to get out? Why don't the windows open wide enough for us to jump? Is the glass bulletproof? Etc., etc. These are all good questions, but unfortunately, we don't have any good answers. Alice is the best we've got. There's no fail-safe plan. If a shooter were to target our school, some of us might not make it out alive. After the assembly, our administrators will tell you two things. First, they will say, our best hope is preemption and prevention. One of you will see or hear something. If you do, say something. We can stop a possible shooting before it happens. The second thing they will tell you is that schools are still extraordinarily safe. Now, the first statement feels like a wish more than a plan. The second statement no longer feels true. Don't blame your school administrators. Don't take it out on law enforcement. They all work tirelessly to keep us safe. But the way they talk suggests a degree of control over our fate that we just don't have. Schools aren't as safe as they once were. According to the Naval Postgraduate School Center for Homeland Defense and Security, in your lifetimes, the number of school shootings each year has just about doubled. Since you began middle school, the average is over 60. As far as we know, nothing makes some schools safer than others. Shootings happen at schools just like ours, to students just like you. Which schools will face tragedy this year, and which will survive? It's a lottery, and the odds are getting worse. You've seen the Hunger Games? American schools go through at least one reaping each week we are in session. Wow. And when we say that somebody will see something, we don't know precisely what we are looking for. We know a lot less about the causes of gun violence than we should. In 1996, then U.S. Representative Jay Dickey, a Republican from Arkansas, attached an amendment to an omnibus spending bill which prevented the Center for Disease Control from funding research into gun violence. The Dickey Amendment was passed by both houses of Congress and signed into law by then President Bill Clinton. Those in positions of authority have failed you. When they fear losing their positions, they often follow instead of lead. What can you do? You can't yet vote, but you do have a voice. You can ask why baseless speculation, like video games, supplants evidence-based research. You can ask why bulletproof backpacks instead of a serious response to an epidemic that kills tens of thousands of Americans each year. But to be brutally honest, don't expect much to change over your 4 years in high school. Expect another roughly 40,000 deaths each year. Anticipate 6 or more school shootings for each month we're in session. What can we do together? We can work to build a kinder community within these walls. We can be good to one another and help one another. Be sensitive to others. Be aware. We can ask you to be more responsible for the safety of others than you should have to be. How I wish this were enough. For 60-something schools this year, it won't be. So understand that when we tell you schools are safe, that it's an expression of hope, not a statement of fact. The end. Wow. Wow. That's the truth right there. That's reality. So if we demand these seatbelts in place for gun violence, then we will get them. We have to stay strong on this, and we can't politicize this issue. And if you're a gun owner, and if you believe in the right to own a gun and all that stuff, then you should stand behind this too, for common sense gun laws to be in place to protect each other's children's, families, and your own sovereignty and freedom and future. I think this is our obligation. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and keep your hearts open, your minds open, and your hands open. I love you guys. Peace.